Okay, so you probably haven't even had time to catch up on my last video about Yukimiya's upcoming rework. But guess what? Just half an hour ago, while I was working on editing, Miro dropped a brand new poll in the official Discord. And let me tell you, this one is huge. It's not just about which character needs a rework, it's about which rework we're most hyped for. Now, this might not seem like much, but if you look closely at the way the question was worded, it's a pretty big hint that the styles listed in that poll are already, if not already being developed, at least in the works. So yeah, it's pretty safe to say we're going to be seeing some of these styles in the game very soon. And we all know that Yukimiya and Sai are definitely in the pipeline. Miro has confirmed their reworks in the Discord recently, so I don't think we need to guess about those two anymore. But today, I want to talk about some other characters that were on that list. Kunigami, Shidou, Karasu, and Gagamaru. I know we've all been focusing on Yukimiya and Sae, but Kunigami and Shidou really need to be talked about right now. Because let's face it, it's not just about whether or not Yukimiya and Sae get their reworks. This poll is showing us that there are other characters, like Kunigami and Shidou, who might be getting reworks too. And that's the exciting part. So just to clarify, this isn't another poll about which characters need a rework, but more about which ones you're most hyped for. This change in how the poll was asked is a pretty big deal, because it means that, logically speaking, the devs are already working on these reworks and will likely be seeing them in the future. Based on how things are going, I'm almost 90% sure that Kunigami and Shidou are probably already in the development stage. That's the kind of hint we're getting here. So let's dive into that. Now let's get into the real talk. Kunigami. I don't know about you, but I feel like Kunigami was one of those characters who, even though he's always been a solid pick, has definitely started to fall behind in the current meta. When you look at him now, it's obvious that his body block nerf made him feel weaker than before. Honestly, it doesn't even make sense anymore. I mean, compare his body block to Sei's arm swipe. Sei's is just more effective, and that's what doesn't sit right. In fact, it's not even close. And don't even get me started on his basic moveset. Kunigami has only two main moves, and one of them is so nerfed it barely feels usable. Sure, his shot is still top tier, but when you look at everything else, it's clear he needs an update. And let's talk about Kunigami's awakening moves. Honestly, one of them is super bugged, and it's just not fun to use. I don't know if it's just me, but there are times when I can't even use his awakening move where he pushes an opponent away and kicks the ball. I've tried so many times, and even if the opponent is standing right in front of me, sometimes it won't work. It's frustrating, and I think we can all agree that this needs fixing. And that's exactly why he's getting a rework. I'm glad Miro and the team are taking notice, because Kunigami could be such a beast with the right tweaks. Now let's move on to Shidou. I know I've talked about this guy a ton in my past videos, but honestly, he's just been left in the dust. Shidou used to be such a powerful character, but now he's totally outdated. He's been downgraded to Legendary, and it's no secret that his moveset hasn't had any love for months. I mean, we're all waiting for a Shidou rework, and at this point, it's becoming pretty clear that Miro knows it, and that's why I'm hoping we'll see him in a much stronger state soon. His rework is going to be essential if he's going to keep up in the meta, especially considering how many people are asking for it. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into the other characters from the poll like Karasu or Gagamaru, but let's just focus on Kunigami and Shidou, because they're the ones we've all been waiting for. And here's the thing. The fact that Miro asked us which rework we're most hyped for shows that these styles are pretty much already in the works. So let's talk about what the reworks might actually look like. Starting with Kunigami, I think we need to go back to the body block and make it stronger. Like pre-nerf level strong. Kunigami was a lot of fun when players could push each other around with body blocks, so I think that should come back. After he lands the body block, he should automatically get the chance to use his power shot. This gives him a really solid offensive option, right after defending. And just like we've seen with other characters, if he performs a body block off the ball and steals the ball, he should be able to immediately use his power shot. This would make him a real threat, whether he's playing offense or defense. Now for his second move, I think we should give Kunigami a power dash. Kind of like a mini dash where no one can steal the ball from him during the move. If anyone is near him, they'll just bounce off him, which fits perfectly with Kunigami's persona. After the dash, he should have the option to follow up with a shot, like a lefty shot or something powerful like that. Finally, for his awakening, I love his current animations, but I think it'd be awesome if we added a new move where Kunigami steals the ball by pushing the opponent out of the way. That would add a bit more power to his gameplay, making him feel a lot more dominant in the current meta. So yeah, I think that would be a really good rework for Kunigami, especially since he doesn't need a full NEL version. He just needs to be brought back to where he belongs. As for Shidou, I think his rework needs to follow a similar pattern. Let's start with a move called Demon Dash, where Shidou uses a crazy dash that makes his wings appear behind him, and he charges forward at insane speed. If he uses this to steal the ball, he should stun the opponent for 3 to 4 seconds, just like the old ankle breaks. After the steal, he can boot the ball wherever he's aiming. For his second move, let's give Shidou Dragon Header. I think it should be usable off the ball too. When the ball is in the air, Shidou can head it like a beast. And if he's near an opponent, he'll push them back, just like the old Kunigami body block. This would really suit Shidou's character and personality, making him feel even more like a powerhouse. Finally, for his awakening, I'd keep Big Bang Drive, but I'd tweak the animation to make it feel even more intense. Also, we can add a new move, like a no-look back heel shot, that's only usable in the box. This would give him more offensive options and make him feel less outdated. So, let's talk about rarity for a bit. Personally, I believe that Kunigami will stay on Mythic, and Shidou will likely return to Mythic rarity after the reworks, and honestly, I think this is the right move for both of them. Both characters, when fully revamped, have the potential to climb back to the top tier of the game. And if you look at examples like NEL Rio or NEL Bachira, you can see the kind of balance and strength that can come with a well-executed Mythic style. These two characters are excellent benchmarks for how the Mythic tier should be handled in Blue Lock Rivals. Rio and Bach are strong, but they're also balanced in a way that makes them competitive, and that's exactly the kind of direction I think Kunigami and Shidou should go in. For Shidou, I really think the rework could elevate him back to Mythic status, especially with the addition of some fresh moves, better synergy with the current meta, and potentially a new awakening that's on the level of some of the top-tier players we've seen. If you take a look at his current state, it's clear that Shidou has a lot of untapped potential. He's a fan favorite, and while he's fallen off a bit recently, I believe that with the right rework, he could easily return to that powerhouse status. Right now, he's a legendary style, but after his rework, I don't see any reason why he couldn't be in the Mythic tier again. If anything, this is the perfect time to give Shidou the updates he deserves, especially with the way the game is evolving. Now, I know there are other styles in the game that could also use a rework, like Gagamaru, who's currently an epic style, and Karasu, who's legendary. Both of these characters definitely have potential, but honestly, they're not as much of a priority right now. While I'd love to see them get updates in the future, especially Gagamaru, who has so much untapped potential, I think for now, Kunigami and Shidou are the real focus. If we're being honest, these two characters have been around long enough, and have such a strong fan base that they absolutely deserve to be brought back into the meta with reworks that make them feel relevant again. So that brings me to you, the viewers. What do you think about all this? Out of all the reworks on the horizon, which one are you most excited for? Are you stoked for Kunigami's rework, or do you think Shidou is the one that needs it the most? Or maybe there's another character on the horizon that you think should be reworked next? I want to know your thoughts, so make sure to drop them in the comments below. I love reading through your suggestions, and who knows, maybe your idea could end up influencing the next rework or update. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, stay hyped for all the exciting updates to come. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.